guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'll admit, is quite a special one and definitely one which has been influenced by a lot of you guys at home. Don't worry, this is not an April Fool's prank like what I did on my Instagram story fairly recently, which only means one thing. This right here is my new Mark 7 Golf R. So there we go. It's happened. I finally own another Golf R. Finally, you guys can stop asking me to sell my M140i and buy another one of these. And actually, whilst we're on that topic, I haven't actually sold the M140i or the Mark 5 Golf GTI. Both of those cars are still in my ownership, which means that this car here is an addition to the channel, which is, quite frankly, it's pretty overwhelming actually. And for that, I do have to say a massive thank you to all of you guys watching the videos. Whether you watch one video or whether you watch all of them, your support means an awful lot. And quite literally, your support has bought this car, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it all did happen very quickly. I actually bought the car off a very nice chap who was actually subscribed to my channel, who I didn't actually realise at the time. But yeah, I hope he's watching and I hope he's going to enjoy the process of what his previous car is going to go through. I think somewhere down the line, I will do a separate video kind of outlining my plans for the car, kind of revealing it to you, because unlike my first Golf R, which I owned, the Mark 7.5, this car is not going to stay stock. I think there's going to be very few parts of this car which are going to stay original, shall we say. So there's plenty of things to look forward to, that is for sure. Now, when I bought the car, actually, quite an interesting story, it was actually the cheapest car advertised within the UK. At the time of me purchasing the car, there were no categorized cars, so Cat D or Cat S cars advertised. This is an HPI clear car. So I understand that you can get cheaper ones out there, but at the time of me purchasing it, this was the cheapest one advertised. Perhaps if you guys want to see it, I'll do a separate video kind of outlining all the reasons as to why it was the cheapest one. But I think for now, I'll give you guys a bit of a run round and then we'll go out for a first little drive. But yeah, surreal moment. I now own 3 cars. Now, as I'm sure you guys have already identified, this car is, of course, a Mark 7 car. It's a pre-facelift, so not the Mark 7.5, which was like the one I used to own a couple of years ago. Of course, it is finished in the iconic colour of Lapis blue. It was actually quite a good bit of luck, actually, that I managed to get another one of these, which was in this colour. I didn't actually intend to go out there to specifically buy a Lapis blue car like what I did initially with the 7.5, and it also has the very, very nice 19-inch genuine Pretoria alloys on there as well. You might have noticed that there is a few little center caps which are missing, and there is actually a little bit of work that needs to be done to the car before we can go ahead with the modifications. Now, seeing as this car is a Mark 7, the pre-facelift, you do have slightly less aggressive front and rear bumpers comparing it to the Mark 7.5, but to be honest, all round, it's still a really, really good looking car. And to be honest, I think the Mark 7 Golf R is a car which is going to go down in history as one of the greats, dare I say it. As you can see, it's a 64 plate 2014 car. It's a 3-door as well, which is actually going to be quite handy for my plans which I have for it. And actually, if I open the door, I have a little surprise for you. It is a manual. I finally own a manual. So you know the joke I made in the GTI reveal, which I did a couple of months ago when I bought that? I said, you know what, I think I'm doing this back to front. I bought a DSG GTI and now I bought a manual Golf R, but such is life. And actually, I've had a couple of drives in it so far. It is so fun to drive, honestly, so fun. Of course, this car being the Mark 7, the pre-facelift, you have the analog dials and the slightly smaller screen in the center. But yeah, still a bit of a beauty actually. The car generally is really, really clean for what it is. And I'm just super happy to finally own one of these things again and to kind of start a journey again. By the way, when I do say journey, I do mean this is going to be a real journey. I'm going to do something to this car which is very, very different to me, something I've always wanted to do. and it's going to make for some pretty awesome videos, if I do say so myself. You can see the front, near side front centre cap is also missing on this side. I think it's kind of just delaminated really, but yeah, just small little things. To be honest, like I said, all in all, the car is a pretty straight car, to be honest. No accident damage as far as I'm aware. And it's a pretty tidy car. The car has covered 81,000 miles. I can't remember which or how many numbers of owners it's had. I think it's fairly low, but not drastically low. It's been used. It's mainly been driven kind of on motorways really. That's kind of what I've been told when I bought the car, but it looks really, really cool. And actually the Pretorias look awesome in this kind of, I don't know, anthracite kind of satin grey kind of colour. So you may remember, those of you who followed me back with the OG Golf R, I'm going to call it from now on, you may remember I had the gloss black Pretorias, but actually breaks up really nicely having these in grey. You kind of lose the shape of the wheels with black alloys, but yeah, really, really nice. Now, to be honest, these are going, and a fair amount of the car will be kind of chopped and changed, shall we say, because to be honest, a regret of mine is not really going to town with my original Golf R. I didn't really do too much to it. I did an exhaust upgrade and a few other little bits, but I didn't go mental. And now that I'm a little bit older, insurance is a little bit more generous, I can get away with doing a few more bits and not being charged through the roof for declaring them. So anyway, I think that's a pretty decent walk around of the car. So happy to finally have one of these things and to actually kind of add it to my lineup. It's going to be quite a surreal moment when I take this back home later and park it next to my other two. But I think what we'll do for now, we'll hop on board, we'll get the GoPro set up, and we'll go for a nice little first drive. And then actually I can show you just how fun it is with the manual gearbox. I tell you what, guys, I have wanted a manual for so long. And you may remember, actually, I drove a manual Golf R from my friends at Blakedown fairly recently. Yeah, it was very fun. Not gonna lie, that did kind of have some sort of role in what's happening here, but it's completely different with a manual. Like, don't get me wrong, I've experienced multiple Golf Rs. Of course, my other one I owned for about a year, but it's so different in manual. It really is. It just adds to the experience. Heel and toe is so good. Can you tell I'm happy, well, to be behind the wheel of a manual? I haven't owned a manual in a long time. My last manual was the GT86. There's a throwback. And also to be back in a Golf R. Now, a certain amount of this kind of project or build, I want to be kind of heavily influenced by you guys, the viewers, seeing as you've had such a massive part of this car actually being possible. So there's going to be a fair amount going on in terms of modifications, in terms of adventures. And yeah, I really want you guys to be a big part of it. Or I'll tell you what, hang on a minute, pause, this is a good road. Cool, handles really well actually. Bit snaky under the brakes though, crikey. Clutch is okay actually. I know that's going to be a talking point. It's the OEM clutch, but yeah, it's not too bad at the moment. No slipping yet. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I really want you guys to be a big part of this build. So if you've got any ideas or suggestions of what you want to see on this car, and don't hold back, okay, because we're not just going to mess around with doing a res delete and that's about it. Yeah, it's going to be something special, and I want it to be something which you guys can enjoy as well. I mean, it's so good to be back behind the wheel of one of these cars. I mean, these cars are really quite special to me. It's a big part of why my YouTube channel is, I wouldn't say successful in the grand scheme of things, but it's helped me, or this car has helped me a lot. It was my first performance car, shall we say. I went from an Audi A1 to a Golf R. It was a huge step for me, something I've been saving up, or had been saving up for a long time. And yeah, I absolutely loved my journey with the car, really. It's when I really got heavily into YouTube, and therefore quite a lot of people then kind of found my channel, and that way we gained a few subscribers. So it's great to actually come back and revisit the platform. I mean, I've filmed loads of them in the past, mainly DSGs, a couple manuals, all been tuned, some crazy builds and horsepower numbers that some of them have been running. So I've definitely kind of kept up to date with the Golf Rs. Of course, now with the new Mark 8 Golf R, I'm still yet to get behind the wheel of one of those. Hopefully we'll be doing that soon. But yeah, I'm just really happy to be able to be in the position to kind of own one of these things again, and kind of especially take it to a decent level rather than just doing some light modifications, you know. I tell you what though, this thing, it's nothing like with the DSG, because, well, obviously, but with the DSG, you're kind of just, you're braced, you're just changing gears here, which is fine. For 0 to 60 and kind of acceleration factors, that is perfect. But with this, you just feel like you don't want to stop accelerating. And I'm not going to lie to you here. I tried filming this video the other day, this reveal video, which I have kept very quiet, by the way. So, yeah. I tried to film this the other day, but to be honest with you, I kind of got a bit carried away, and I ended up just driving around roads like this, nice country roads in the Hampshire area, and I completely forgot to film. I was having so much fun, mainly just with the manual gearbox, because it's pretty special, and it is a dying breed in modern cars nowadays. I mean, find me a new car, especially in this price bracket, which is manual, you're not going to find very many, albeit you will find some, thankfully. But I just found myself having so much fun that I just didn't want to stop driving. And it was getting dark, and I thought to myself, you know what? The reason I came out here today was to film the reveal video, and it completely crossed my mind. And yeah, I mean, that just shows how much fun this car really is. I mean, in the manual form, you may remember when I drove this Stage 2 car from Blakedown, I said that a couple months ago, I wouldn't really, I take notice of a manual Golf R, but I wouldn't really kind of get really excited about one. After driving that car, game changer, absolute game changer. And I'll tell you what, it's so fun around these roads. Unbelievable. Definitely a pinch yourself moment, that's for sure. That is for sure. But yeah, I'm not even really sure if there's anything else that I need to say at the moment, really, other than a big thank you once again. It's yeah, crazy times, crazy times, and I cannot wait for the journey of this car. Maybe take it back to some places which I visited with my old car. That might be quite fun. I'm not going to recreate the wrap, I don't think, although I do have some pretty major plans with this thing. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know if you're happy with the decision, and if there's any other questions that you guys have, then please let me know. But I think for today's video, at least, that is going to wrap things up. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like. make sure you subscribe for all the adventures still to come.